Hi there, I'm going to show you how to design an Anglepoise lamp in SketchUp. I'm using the SketchUp 2017, which is very similar to SketchUp 3. What I'm going to do is I'm just straight away going to begin. So I'm going to draw out the base, which is going to be 170 diameter. So I'm going to make this a radius of 85. And then I'm going to just bring it up with the push-pull by 30. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at this from above and just draw a line across to kind of find a center, and that's fine. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just draw out a little sort of pivot point, which I'm going to make 20 by 40, and I'm going to push-pull this up to the same amount. So I'll push-pull this up by 40. What I'm going to do with this now is I'm just going to put a hole in it, find a center, just divide it up center by center, put a little hole in. The hole is going to be a radius of 5. Okay, and just going to rub these bits away. Now you can do things like add curved edges to this. I'm just going to keep everything square and simple. Push-pull this away. Right, great. And I'm going to be using this in a variety of ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the move and control to duplicate. Undo. Select the whole thing before I do that. And I'm going to keep a copy there. This one, I'll just place it up here. What I want to do is I want to place this on the circle. I think I'll just do my lines again. There we go, that's a bit better. And select one of these, place it above. Now what I'm going to do actually is just to kind of put it exactly on. If I remember correctly, this was 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little offset on this inner line here of 10. Alright, and that should kind of give me a bit of a guideline to stick this to. So I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm just going to pull it over to here and move it along a bit. Actually, if I want to be really precise, what I can do is draw along here 20. Okay, that's what I'm doing. There's my endpoint, and I'm just going to draw a line across. It'll rub out all of these other lines. I don't need any of these other lines. This is just really to help me place this into the correct place. So that's centering it basically. So I've used the offset and then I've used a measured line. And I'm going to grab it from this corner because that's the corner I wanted to go into. I'm going to turn this around a bit. There we go. So that's now centered. I can rub out my measurement. Just deselecting bits I don't need anymore. Select the measurement. That measurement's kind of hidden in the block, so I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, so this is my base. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to copy this again by moving it. So I'm going to just use the control, and I'm selecting the entire block when I do this. What I'm going to do this next is I'm going to make this, looking at my measurements, just 400. So I'm going to add on, this is actually a height, I believe, of 40. Just double check that by putting a measurement on. Yeah, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to add on an extra what I'm going to do first, I'm going to add on an extra 320, and then I'm going to add on a block at the bottom, and I'm going to duplicate this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push pull this below the work plane, and I'm going to push pull it down 320. Great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab the whole thing and bring it up to the normal work plane, because I'm now below the work plane, underwater so to speak. Use this tool, bring it up. That's fine. Doesn't matter if it's floating in the air a bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this again. I'm going to move it. Using the Control Shift, I'm going to duplicate it. What I'm going to do with this other block is now I'm going to rotate this using the red. I'm going to rotate that 180. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to join it together with this, like that. Now I could do a variety of things. What I think I'll try doing here is just getting rid of that join line, and let's see what happens. Yes, that's now one piece. So that's going to be my arm, or the first part of my arm, and I'm just going to make this into a component by right clicking on it, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to place this hole over hole, if that makes sense, sort of like so it sort of matches up. So I'm going to move this using this hole here and just join it to that one there. Maybe it's easier actually if I try doing this from the other side. Alright, let's have a look. Okay. Right, let's have a look. You can kind of just about, yeah, so let's join it up. I think possibly there's a better way of doing this, but I'm just going to do it quickly like this. There we go. Oh, that's actually matched up. Okay, that's fine. What I'm going to now do with the component is I'm going to just draw it directly to that way. And what I'm going to do, this is a component, so I'm going to press Control and duplicate it to the other side. And so long as I stay on that red line, I should be okay. And that's pretty much edge to edge. So that's my arms. Now what I'm going to do is, using the Shift and Rollerball button, I'm going to duplicate this again using Control, and I'm going to place that in the middle of these two. So it's a bit of kind of maneuvering around. You might, let's undo that, duplicated it by mistake. It's a bit of moving around. You might want to set up a few kind of lines as kind of guidelines to connect things. So I'm actually just going to use the axis as a way of drawing things down. So let's see if we look through. I need to draw this up a little bit more. Yeah, perfect. Alright, and what you can do afterwards, this is just standing straight up, you can take this, and you can rotate it. And I'm going to actually rotate this, hopefully this works, along the red axis, and rotate it this way. Yeah, we're coming out of that, that's okay. We'll work that back in again. Select it, move it back down a bit, just move it down and across, we just match up again. Alright, that's fine. So we've got most of these parts. This piece I'm going to use one more time. What I'm going to do first, I'm just going to create a very simple lampshade, which I'll make with a radius of, let me see, what's my measurements? I've got some basic measurements. Once again, I think that measurement was 85. So I'll make it 70 actually. 70 radius. Oh, undo. Hit the wrong button there, folks. 70. Okay, that's fine. Just get rid of this other one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just push pull this up. What's the height of it? It's about 140 again. So I'll do 140. And then what I'm going to do is I can grab the whole shape and I'm going to use the scale. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push it across. So I'll do that. Just going to push it across. Just trying to taper it actually. Right. Let's just take the top bit and see if we can scale that. Good. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And you can do this by exact amounts. I'm not going to bother. I'm just doing this for the purposes of illustration. So, once again, just to center this to the top, I'm just going to draw sort of a couple of guidelines. I'm going to go out from the center at 10, and I'll use that as a guideline there. And I'm going to put my little pivot point on top. I'll just make that a component so it's easier to move around. Create. Okay, so let's move that up. And when you make things components as well, what happens is they don't actually distort the object you're placing them on top of. There we go. So that's fine. This is very basic. This is really just to kind of get you started, make the whole thing a component. Create. Good. Alright, now let's move this into place. Okay. Now the top bit, there's a bit of a problem here because the top bit's only got one piece, but that's okay. We could just imagine that there's a screw going through from the side. So I'm just going to move this up from there to there roughly, and we'll just move it across. Alright, good. We'll just kind of get those holes to match up. So we just need to look at it the right direction. Right, okay. Okay, I'm going to rotate this as well. I'm going to have to rotate on a flat side. I'm going to use that side and rotate it. Okay, just so that there's enough space between the actual arm and that point. And that, I could put in like cylinders shaped bolts to look like to show that this is bolted in and to kind of hold things in position. But I just wanted to very quickly show you how to do a Anglepoise lamp. You can add also textures and colors. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add wood for the base just to make it look pretty. I'm going to add metal for the arms. Yeah, okay. And also what I'm going to do lastly is just add a bit of color for the lamp. Maybe a nice yellow. Alright, maybe an orange. Yeah, it's a bit more harmonious. This could be hollowed out as well, but that's a basic example of how to do an Anglepoise lamp in SketchUp.